Hello everyone, welcome to the 200 Q&A test. Plaintiff attorney is going to be Mr. Baxter, B-A-X-T-E-R. Defense is Mr. Bonito, B-O-N-I-T-O. Again, plaintiff attorney Mr. Baxter, B-A-X-T-E-R. Defense attorney is Mr. Bonito, B-O-N-I-T-O. This is going to start out with defense attorney questioning. Ready? Now, with regard to that tire mark, did you note that that tire mark that you circled in all those pictures, did you know that that was not recorded by Officer Hamilton in his very detailed legend that he prepared for this physical evidence? I think that it was. That is vague and ambiguous, counsel. Do you understand my question? I believe that it was. Okay, where is it? Can you show me? I believe it's the tire friction mark on the first bulletin. I'm sorry, where is it at? I believe that it's the tire friction mark that's indicated on the first bulletin, first bullet. So the one that the tire friction mark that we just saw that you circled on 7197, you understand that that's the mark that Officer Hamilton refers to in his first bullet point here on line 3 at page 7. Yes, I do. Okay, so you agree that that's what it is? I'm under the impression that is the tire friction mark. So what he did not put in is that very first tire mark that you circled on photograph 100-7189, correct? That is correct. Do you know, as you sit here today, if this bullet point on page 7 on line 3, if his reference to this tire friction mark, do you know if he's referring to the tire friction mark that you've circled in 7189, or is it the tire friction mark that you've circled on 7197, or don't you know? I believe it's the one that I indicated on 7197. Okay, and I guess the best way to determine would be to ask him. Correct, yes. Now you utilize tire friction marks to determine the point of impact, is that correct? Yes, that is correct. And if you found that the tire friction mark that you saw on photograph 7189 was not left by this accident, that could change your mind as to the area of the impact, is that correct? It could. Can you repeat the question, please? Sure, if you found that the tire friction mark that you've circled on 7189 of Exhibit 14 was not caused in this accident, that could cause you to change your mind as to determination of the area of impact, correct? That is vague and ambiguous. That also lacks foundation. You can go ahead and answer. I guess it could. It depends. If you found that the tire friction mark that you have circled in photograph 7197 was not caused by this accident, that could cause you to change your opinion as to the area of impact, true? Counsel, same objections. No, not necessarily, no. So what you're saying is the tire friction mark that's on 7197 that really doesn't have any bearing on your determination of the area of impact, is that right? That is correct. Okay, so tell me, if that didn't have any bearing on your decision, oh, I'm sorry, this tire friction mark does have a bearing on determining the actual area of the impact. Okay, let's do it this way. Let me be fair to you and ask you the question again. I don't think I was clear. Okay, if you found out that the tire friction mark that was on the road that you circled in photograph 100-7197 was not caused in this accident, if you found that out, then that would cause or could cause you to change your mind on the area of impact. Is that accurate? It is an incomplete hypothetical. It also lacks foundation and assumes facts not in evidence. Go ahead, you may answer. Well, it also calls for speculation too. Okay, this tire friction mark, you did not rely on, when I say this one, 7197, you did not rely on this in determining the area of impact, is that correct? No, not entirely. Well, did you rely on it at all? Yes, I did. Not enough to where if you found out if it was not caused in the accident that it would make any difference, correct? That is correct, yes. Okay, what else did you rely on? What other roadway markings did you rely on in determining the area of impact in this case, other than the tire mark you've circled on Exhibit 14 in photo 7197? What else did you rely on in your investigation? I also relied on the pool of the fluid, which appears to be the same type of oil, and also the large debris, that's the field of glass, that's further west of the tire friction mark. Okay, is there anything else that helped you to determine that? No, that is it. All right, now the debris with the field of glass, let's talk about that. First of all, did you understand that that was glass that was left by the bike or the car or both, if you know? It appears to be primarily from the rear window of the car. Okay, and with regard to the debris with the field of glass, was there any glass that was on the westbound lanes when you got to the scene of the accident that night? No, there wasn't any glass. None at all? No. Do you mean the answer is none? There was no glass? Right, there was no glass. Okay, was there any blood that was in any way on the westbound lanes when you first got there? There was some blood near the double yellow lines. I can't remember if it was north of the double yellow lines or south of, but it was within that investigation where the prolongation of the double yellows would have run. So you're not sure if it was north or south? That is correct. Or it could have been both north and south, right? That is correct. With regard to the car and the glass, did you take any photographs of that glass, by the way? I didn't personally take any pictures, no. Did anybody take pictures that you are aware of? I believe Officer Hamilton has some pictures of the glass, yes. Why don't you show me in these photos where the glass is or the photos of the glass? Do you mean any pictures of the glass? Yes. Are there any pictures of the glass that you say none of which was in the westbound lane? I don't understand. Do you want me to read off of the pictures? First, I want to see one of them. Hang on for 1 second. I'm sorry. Let me take a look at one of those before you say anything. I can't even see it in that one completely. This is the one where you really can kind of start to see it. All right, did you draw a circle around the glass in this picture here? Yes, I did on this picture here. Okay, for the record, it's 7192. You were able to clearly see the glass in this photo, is that correct? I can see where it is. It's pretty easy to see. I'm not asking for where it was. I'm asking you, could you clearly see the glass in that photo before you circled that for me? Yes, it's easy to see. Okay, so when I take and hold this up to a jury or a judge, they will be able to clearly see that the glass was completely in the eastbound lanes, none of which was in the westbound lanes. Is that what you are saying? Correct? That's clear from this photo here? That is correct. As far as the debris is concerned, yes. All I want to know is that correct? Okay, yes, it's correct. You are correct. All right, and you also circled the glass area, or where you think the area of the glass was, in photograph 7993. I'm sorry, 7193, correct? That is correct. Once again, from looking at this picture and only this picture, were you able to clearly see that there was no glass in the area or in the westbound lane? In other words, it was all in the eastbound lane. Just from looking at this photo here, the debris field is entirely in the eastbound lane. My question was this: were you able to see before you saw, put the circle down, when I hold this photo before people, will I be able to see clearly that there is no glass in the westbound lanes because it's all in the eastbound lanes? Looking at that picture, yes. Okay, and this is 7193. Now, you did the same thing for 7194, is that correct? Yes, that is correct. And 7195, did you take these photographs as well? No, Officer Hamilton took those pictures. Do you know if the car was moving at the time of the impact? I believe it was, yes. And approximately how fast was it moving, officer? It was going approximately 10 miles an hour, whatever a typical turning speed would be. Well, I don't want to know what a typical turning speed is. What I want to know is this. First of all, do you know, as a matter of fact, that at the time of this impact, that the car was actually moving? No, I don't. Okay, what happened was Ms. Snyder told you, or told the Spanish-speaking officer, that she was moving and she was traveling. She just started to turn. Is that correct? That is correct. And if we look at the statement of Ms. Snyder, she said it's on page 20 of the report. She said she had begun turning left and then felt the impact. Is that right? That is right. Did anybody ever ask her the question, well, how far? If you were into the turn at all, how far were you into the turn? No, no one asked me. Did you get the flavor from the notes that you got from Officer Hamilton that it was her that just started to turn when the impact happened? I based that off of the statement that I got from Officer Hamilton, and that what I believe to be the area of impact. And that is that she had just started to make her turn. That is correct, yes. You didn't conclude as to how far she had gotten into the turn. You just know she was just starting to make it. Is that correct? Yes, that is correct. Did you talk to any witnesses who said that they saw the actions of Ms. Snyder, that is, how her car or her automobile was acting, let's say within 100 feet prior to the turn that we are talking about? No, there were no witnesses that said anything about her or her car. Or 500 feet prior to the turn? No, there wasn't. Or 1,000 feet prior to the turn? No, sir. You don't know if she was stopping and starting, and if she was accelerating and then slowing down or anything like that. You don't know that? No, it was not brought to my attention. Other than the glass field and the pool of blood and the tire mark that you identified earlier I think it was 7197 of Exhibit 14, did you rely on anything else in determining the area of the impact? Well, I used photo P1 or the resting place of P1 when I arrived on the scene. Okay, we have a word list. We've got Officer Hamilton, capital O-F-F-I-C-E-R. Hamilton, capital H-A-M-I-L-T-O-N. Ms. Snyder, capital M-S period. Snyder, capital S-N-Y-D-E-R. Spanish, capital S-P-A-N-I-S-H. Now, there are a couple of references to exhibit and then the number. So when they refer to like Exhibit 14, you would capitalize E on exhibit, capital E-X-H-I-B-I-T. And then if they, for example, say 14, it would just be 1-4. Same with photo. If they say photo 14, capitalize P on photo. And then, of course, you're going to use the number. They also use reference to P1 instead of photo. So you would do capital P hyphen and then just use your number 1 or whatever the number may be. Okay, and that concludes our word list for the 200 Q&A test. Good luck.